On the night of September 6, 2017, WePhone clients saw a message spring up on the application that read the proprietor of the organization was killed by his harmful spouse Zai Xingxing WePhone is closing down alongside an ID number and telephone number in enclosures the following day. Media sources detailed that WePhone's organizer had passed on by self-destruction in Beijing Suexiang Mayo, brought into the world in 1980 in a rustic area of Fujian region. China is the most youthful of 5 kids. His family confronted monetary difficulties, and his folks and kin endeavored to pay his expenses since secondary school. In spite of the difficulties, Su succeeded scholastically and procured a spot at college to concentrate on software engineering in the wake of accepting his 4-year college education. Su proceeded to get a graduate degree from Beijing College of Posts and Broadcast Communications. He then functioned as a developer at Baidu for quite some time. Su truly cherished his work, and he was extremely skilled in the field. In 2012, Su established his own innovation organization in Beijing and sent off a correspondence application called WePhone. The progress of WePhone brought Su significant benefits. He purchased a condo in Beijing and one more house for his folks in their old neighborhood. He likewise gave about $30,000 per year to his folks' retirements. Su was liberal to his kin, promising to assist his nieces and nephews with their future schooling costs. After his profession became steady, he likewise needed to have his very own group with a level of 160 km. What's more, a typical appearance, Su had a thoughtful character and restricted heartfelt encounters. In spite of the fact that he had been acquainted with a few young ladies by his family and had met potential matches on dating destinations, he hadn't found the ideal young lady. Su had explicit inclinations. He needed somebody who was gentle, attractive, and family situated. It would be surprisingly better, assuming she had a family enrollment in Beijing, so their future kids would have the capability to rapidly seek after training in Beijing to track down the perfect individual. Su burned through truckload of cash to turn into a top-notch individual from this dating site. The dating organization, like a matchmaking administration, screen up and comers in light of the client's inclinations they gave, provides details regarding potential matches and organized gatherings on Walk 30, 2017. As organized by the go-between, Su met Zai Xingxin at the dating organization's office. Zai Xingxin, or Cindy, as we'll call her, was brought into the world in November 1986 in Taiyuan City, Shandong Territory, China. Her dad is a college educator at Shandong College of Science and Innovation. What's more, her mom functions as a bookkeeper at a similar college. Cindy accepted her 4-year college education in structural designing from a similar college and later earned her Lord's education from Beijing Jiatong College. As per the dating organization's report, Cindy is a 170 km tall, unmarried, learned at the College of California, Los Angeles for 1 year, and fills in as a government employee with a month-to-month pay of more than $3,000. She has a family enlistment in Beijing. The go between's evaluation of Cindy is that in spite of her honor foundation, she is exceptionally energetic, comes up short on bad propensities related with rich people, never goes to clubs, can involve similar satchel for quite a long time, loves everyday life, and is viewed as a reasonable contender for a spouse who had a decent initial feeling of her. They didn't talk much, yet traded contact data. Startlingly, Cindy stepped up and asked Su out for supper and a film the following day. Cindy let Su know that she had just been seeing someone during her school years. She additionally referenced that it was exceptionally pivotal that their lunar birthday celebrations fell around the same time. Sometime thereafter, Cindy messaged Su and communicated, "I don't have the foggiest idea why, yet I truly like you. Unexplainable adoration. I'm willing to have a child with you." Su answered energetically and quickly fell head over heels. The following day, Cindy sent Su a video of certain birds flying over a manor, and shared the estate's data. This surprised Sue and caused him to feel a peace constrained. Accordingly, he sent Cindy screen captures of his stock and monetary records to show his monetary capacity, and communicated that he could likewise bear the cost of a manor. On April 13, 2017, Sue, who was profoundly infatuated, purchased Cindy a Tesla worth about $140,000. Cindy immediately posted about it via virtual entertainment without referencing Sue. On April 30, 2017, Sue took Cindy back to Fujian to meet his family. Cindy showed up sweet in any event, stepping up and assist with family tasks and strolling connected at the hip with Sue's mom. Sue's family loved her definitely and trusted they would get hitched 7 days after the fact. In the wake of leaving Fujian, they went on an outing to Sanya city of Hainan at Cindy's idea. Throughout the following couple of days anyway, Cindy had Sue spent about $470,000 to purchase a coastline loft. The whole course of purchasing the condo was overseen by Cindy, and she even added her name to the agreement. Sue felt somewhat awkward, yet was worried about the possibility that rejecting would hurt their relationship. By then they had just known one another for 40 days. They then went to Hong Kong, and Macau. Sue purchased Louis Vuitton and Fendi Saks Dior shoes and a $50,000 Cartier jewel ring accessory and hoops for Cindy. At this point, after just 50 days of knowing one another, Sue had previously burned through 5 million RMB, or about $750,000 on Cindy. Sue additionally took Cindy to meet his companions and showed her around the organization. Anyway, he never met Cindy's folks or any of her companions, and he didn't visit her work environment. Sue found that the lunar birthday they apparently shared was bogus. He likewise discovered that Cindy had 2 WeChat accounts. Sue understood that he had hardly any insight into Cindy. However, his heart was still profoundly involved. On May 31, Cindy proposed that they get their marriage testament on June 2, the following morning. Cindy said, "I had a fantasy. It seems like I got hitched previously, yet I got separated from around the same time." Sue asked, "You didn't really get hitched before, did you?" Cindy said, "Now that I think regarding it, seems as I did. I once organized a phony union with assistance. A companion named Li Tiejun, qualified to purchase a house in Beijing. Sue recommended calling Li Tiejun to a firm, yet Cindy answered it finished disagreeably. Furthermore, I would rather not reach him. Sue said this matter was excessively abrupt, and he wanted chance to think. Shockingly, Cindy was quick to fly off the handle, pack her things, and move back home. Following an evening of reasoning, Sue understood that he would have rather not lost Cindy. The following night, Sue apologized, and they consented to get their marriage authentication on June 6. Yet things changed once more. Since Cindy was separated from, she needed to go to the nearby police headquarters, with the court gave separate from intervention consent to change her conjugal status from unmarried to separated before she could reapply for her marriage testament. On the night of June 5, Sue communicated a craving to see Cindy's separation intervention, understanding Cindy guaranteeing individual protection would not show it except if Sue paid her 880,000 RMB, about $130,000. In a befuddled state, Sue gave over the cash. In the wake of perusing the record, Sue's sentiments turned out to be much more convoluted. The man's name was not Li Tiejun, but rather somebody with the last name Liu. They got hitched in January 2011 and separated from in April of that year. Their marriage endured 3 months and repaid Cindy with $30,000. Sue brought up a huge error in everything Cindy had recently said to him, which caused him to feel uncomfortable. He advised Cindy that they couldn't hurry to get the marriage declaration. This rankled Cindy, who answered that she had changed her conjugal status to separate for him. Furthermore, presently, he was advising her to contemplate their relationship. She then punched Sue in the eye, and they separated on terrible conditions that evening. Sue apologized to Cindy again, communicating his responsibility and the amount he missed her. He inquired as to whether Cindy's statement of all-consuming, instant adoration was certified, to which Cindy answered, cruelly advising him to quiet down and ponder his activities. Sue, mindful that he was a transporter of the hepatitis B infection, apologized over and over. He even went to Cindy's neighborhood to apologize face-to-face. However, she wouldn't meet. Cindy demanded that, to accommodate, he ought to give her 50,000 RMB, about $7,500, consistently until she was fulfilled. Likewise, Cindy requested remuneration of 358,000 RMB, about $53,000, for the adjustment of conjugal status. Sue consented to these terms. Altogether, Sue paid Cindy roughly $200,000 to get the marriage endorsement. The two formally enrolled their marriage on June 7. Sue thought he at last had his very own group. However, much to his dismay, that his life was going to take a dim turn after they got hitched. That midday, Sue got a message from a previous prearranged meeting, complimenting him on his new marriage. Sue answered pleasantly. When Cindy saw this, she blamed Sue for having an improper relationship with the other lady, considered him a slimeball, and requested a separation. This happened only 10 days after their marriage. Sue apologized over and over and communicated the amount he missed Cindy when they were separated. He contrasted it with being enthralled and trusted that Cindy could pardon him. Sue even sent Cindy 50,000 RMB and vowed to send another 200,000 RMB the following day. Cindy answered, 1 million tomorrow, about $150,000, on June 18. At Cindy's solicitation, Sue composed an assurance letter expressing that, assuming he started a separation later on, he would repay Cindy with 5 million RMB, about $750,000, and take care of the home loan on the Hainan house for Cindy. With the assurance letter close by, Cindy took steps to separate from Sue over frivolous issues, referring to Sue's flighty and cold character. On June 22, Sue moved once again into his own loft, and Cindy, guaranteeing an apprehension about levels, demanded that Sue sell the skyscraper condo. Purchase a manor. Cindy frequently referenced her family members in Beijing, who resided in enormous houses, guaranteeing that a lady ought to deal with the family's funds. These occasions progressively made Sue mindful of Cindy's materialistic nature, and shrewd, he felt progressively mistreated and dropped out of adoration with Cindy. Anyway, the expense of a separation was too high given the significant speculation he had previously made. Cindy, mindful of Sue's doubts, made sense of in a long message. Prior to wedding Sue, he had individual resources of 20 million RMB, about $3 million. The estate is in her name, and her daddy's achieved. The men presented by the dating organization would do well to capabilities. Then Sue, she over and over scrutinized Sue, guaranteeing he needed appreciation, was ugly, had a terrible character, and muddled discourse. Perspective exceptionally clear. The condo is excessively little and excessively high. In the event that you're not ready to change, the main thing I can do is get a separation and find one more man. Sue felt depleted by the relationship. This is truly hard going through this inconvenience, only for a house. Fine, we should get the separation as you need. Cindy promptly answered okay. Then we should adhere to the assurance letter for pay. Sue brought up, I spent more than $750,000 on you, right? However, Cindy demanded that not a solitary penny could be less. She taken steps to uncover lawful and charge issues connected with Wayphone, referencing her uncle's situation in the public security department. The Wayphone item utilized for global significant distance calls is lawful in Western nations, however doesn't have the fundamental licenses in China. Sue was recently engaged with the VPN business, which was subsequently closed down. Sue's sibling made sense of in a meeting that the loft was purchased by Sue before the marriage, making it early property. So on the off chance that they separated from Cindy wouldn't get an offer. That is the reason she demanded that Sue sell it and purchase another one, making it local area property obtained after the marriage. On July 7, Cindy started compromising Sue, guaranteeing she would report him to the police the following day, saying his tax avoidance was a crime and could bring about a lifelong incarceration. She contended that she ought to serve the nation by uncovering Sue as an unlawful individual, foreseeing that Sue would, before long, turn into a detainee because of the organization's breakdown that day. Cindy and her mom went to Sue's condo, met Sue in the lift, and Cindy genuinely attacked him once more in the lift. Frightened by Cindy's threatening messages, Sue wouldn't even come close to getting back. Furthermore, remained in an inn for quite a while. At this point, the two players had chosen to separate, and the last issue was how much remuneration. On July 11, Cindy posted a report on WeChat praising her uncle on his advancement to senior police manager and featuring late blissful occasions in it. The family under the danger, Sue yielded and messaged Cindy, "I would rather not get separated." On July 13, Cindy called Sue and recommended that they meet face-to-face to examine the matter. Sue would have rather not heard a man's voice on the telephone, saying, "Young fellow, our family has many individuals in Beijing. You've raised hell for our Cindy. Settle up rapidly or we'll shut down your business, seize all your pay, and come to your home this evening to capture you." Sue was genuinely terrified. He thought the organization was in genuine difficulty and that Cindy's compelling uncle had the ability to hurt him, exploiting what is going on. Cindy requested the Hainan house as well as 10 million RMB, about $1.5 million in pay. Sue fought, "I don't have that sort of cash. For what reason would you say you are driving me to the brink?" Under Cindy's proceeded with dangers, the two consented to a separation arrangement on July 16. It specified a settlement of $1.5 million, with Sue paying $1 million after marking, and the leftover $500,000 in the no less than 2 months of the separation. The Hainan house would turn into Cindy's. Sue required 2 days sold stocks, moved cash from the organization account, and paid Cindy $1 million bucks. He additionally moved responsibility for Hainan house to Cindy. On July 18, they got their separation declaration. In that multi-day marriage, Sue spent north of 13 million RMB, about $2 million, on Cindy. After the separation, Cindy continued compelling Sue to pay the leftover sum. She cautioned that on the off chance that he didn't pay, his organization would be accounted for and closed down. He would be recorded as a defaulter. His ledgers would be frozen, making it unthinkable for him to take flights or, on the other hand, high-speed trains, and the court would sell his home. Sue guaranteed he truly had no cash left, and Cindy proposed choices, for example, selling the condo or applying for a new line of credit. Right now, Sue's family scholarly of the circumstance and exhorted him not to pay, encouraging him to report the make a difference to the police. Sue's sister came to Beijing to help him, and a legal counselor he counseled suggested postponing installment under the guise of gathering pledges. That legal counselor likewise encouraged Sue to gather wire move receipts and talk records from their relationship. Sue asked Cindy to save him, yet Cindy professed to have informed family members with associations with the expense department. Cindy took steps to pull out the report solely after getting full remuneration. She kept on sending screen captures of the report calls and WePhone pictures to scare Sue. During this time, Cindy likewise had a man by compromise Sue. On September 7, at 2 a.m. Sue posted a declaration on WePhone guaranteeing that his ex had caused his passing. Soon Cindy sent incensed messages to Sue, answered that it was only a test post and had proactively been erased. At 5 a.m. Sue made an impression on his sister, who was resting at his condo, saying, "I love all of you, yet I truly can't go on. Please accept my apologies to the family." He likewise let his sister know that he had taken out the secret word from his telephone, which he had left in a corner. Sue then went to the housetop of the high-rise and hopped Prior to ending his own life, Sue expounded on his encounters with Cindy and shared all that web-based, including bank move receipts and talk records. This promptly turned into a web sensation, and individuals started to reprimand Cindy, with many calling and informing her to affront Sue's family. Detailed Cindy to the police for blackmail. Yet since Sue's demise was controlled as self-destruction, and the cash given to Cindy was covered by an understanding the police didn't seek after a crook case, they encouraged Sue's family to document a common claim. Cindy's uncle explained that Cindy was his niece, however they hadn't been in touch for a long time, and he was an educator at the public security college, not engaged with policing, had no information on Sue. After the episode, charged specialists likewise examined Wephone organization, yet found no duty-related issues. A half-year after the fact, in April 2018, Cindy posted on Weibo guaranteeing that her family had been widely hassled and that their data had been all uncovered. She depicted herself as the casualty, saying that Sue frequently acted miserably, ignored her, genuinely manhandled her on various occasions, and had unseemly associations with his ex. She demanded that the Tesla was a gift from Sue, and that he composed the assurance as a result of his responsibility over the abusive behavior at home concerning the $1.5 million repayment, interest and dangers. She said it was because of her resentment at the time. During her relationship with Sue, Cindy's discussions with companions were uncovered. In these messages, she communicated her present status, pondering either separation or tracking down a more youthful man to mess around with, guaranteeing that she would enjoy the cash. She communicated dissatisfaction with more established men, referencing a short-it fellow brought into the world in 1980, 160 chem, tall and expert, said her aim to separate from, in the wake of collecting more cash, underlining that she was unable to consume her entire time on Earth with somebody like Sue. On July 12, 2018, during the pre-preliminary gathering, Sue's family legal advisor saw that numerous discussions were absent from the visit records given by Cindy. The court requested Cindy to present her telephone, however she denied. In 2019, netizens found Cindy's profile on the dating site again, where she had changed her home to California, USA. This ignited further displeasure among meds. In December 2020, Sue's family sued Cindy in a Beijing court. The court closed the case over 2 years after the fact. On Walk 31, 2023, the court decided that Cindy should return almost $1.5 million in vehicles to Sue's family. Moreover, the court requested the undoing of Cindy's own responsibility for properties in Hainan and Beijing. In May 2023, Cindy asserted on Weibo that she had returned $1 million to Sue's family. She additionally educated Sue's sister, asking her to make good on the fundamental duties. Cindy examined the purposes behind Sue's self-destruction, proposing that Sue had been doing great for north of a month after their separation, and addressing why he ended his life. When Sue's sister came to Beijing, inferring extra tension from her, Cindy explicitly referenced Sue's prior post on Weibo. Individuals who have the cash to move yet decide not to are all filth. For what reason would it be advisable for me? I love such a country. N reasons to get significant pay in her most memorable marriage. In 2011, to her school cohort, Liu, Cindy got 2,000 RMB, about 30,000, and a Volkswagen vehicle. The second marriage in 2012 was to Li Tiejun, whom she met on a dating site. Cindy got 7.5 million RMB, about $1.12 million, and a BMW. In 2016, Cindy wedded a nearby money manager surnamed Wang, with Cindy demanded a manor as an essential for marriage, and she in the end gained the estate. After the marriage, media affirmation shows that Cindy never worked for the supposed association. Her school companions review that she was clandestine during their time at school and regularly took on part-time gigs as an independent model There are online claims that Cindy might be engaged with top-of-the-line friendship administrations, which might make sense of her Weibo present showing. Travel on different areas. During her union with Cindy conversed with different men about getting a room or going to her home for sex, asking some for $700 and some for $300. On June 9, 2023, Sue's siblings shared that Cindy had been captured and was at present being held in a confinement place. Sue's kin endured 6 years gathering proof, and albeit the police didn't record a case, they presented the proof to the procuratorate, which at last prompted criminal accusations against Cindy. In only 5 months, Sue went from a certain organization pioneer to somebody profoundly bothered by life. At the point when he met Cindy, he thought it resembled a geek meeting. His beauty queen Cindy appeared to satisfy every one of his dreams about ladies. However, the pleasantness endured. Just a month prior to issues emerged. Regardless of over and over seeing Cindy's unusual way of behaving, he decided to continue the relationship, reluctant to pick up and move on in time. Some other time, when he understood that he had been deluded, he was unable to excuse himself for his shortcoming and silliness. He needed to get back at Cindy with his own life. However, it was truly not worth the effort. Sue felt compromised by Cindy. Since his organization meant the world to him, he had gone through years building it, and it was the wellspring of his certainty. Sue realized that the Wephone business worked in a hazy situation in China, and that there were a few dangers implied. He likewise realized that strong government authorities in China could truly hurt a business person. In the event that they needed, Cindy is exceptionally gifted at introducing herself. While meeting men, she dresses humbly to try not to stand out, and depicts herself as a delicate and obliging young lady. Nearby, her objective determination is exact, picking men with little relationship experience and not really ideal pictures, however certainly monetarily skilled by harsh computations. Her 4 relationships have gotten her something like 30 million RMB, about $4.5 million, enough to carry on with a well-off life. What she didn't expect was that her eagerness and vindictiveness would drive Sue, with the eventual result of putting his life in danger just to uncover her. Assuming this occurred in your nation, how about Cindy be rebuffed and sentenced, or would she get away from lawful outcomes? What is your take on this case? Kindly offer your perspective in the remarks segment.